Thank you. So welcome. And before I give it to you, I still have 2 minutes to introduce you. So you're joining us from Gyan Sarovar. All of us know him very well. And he's really indeed a victorious soul in action. He'll tell us all those experiences. And let me tell you about him. He is a German by nationality, born there, but has been into Brahma Kumari since the age of 24, from 1984. And let me take you through his life journey a little bit. He'll tell more. He is an experienced meditation teacher, and he actually lectures on a lot of topics, particularly related to environment and climate change. I'll come to that. And he has traveled extensively across 75 countries. And what I like is he advocates the sustainable solutions through an ethical and values-based approach. That's what we all look at, the value-based approach in life. And a few more feathers in his cap is in his 1989, he founded this charitable trust called India Care with headquarters in Berlin. And he had been its president for more than 14 years. And in 1990, Brother Golo moved to India and founded the Brahma Kumari's Solar Department. I'm sure all of you are aware of that. And as we speak, he's currently the advisor for the renewable energy of the Brahma Kumaris and its sister organization, which we know, the World Renewal Spiritual Trust. Hang on, a few more feathers in the cap. In 2009, he became a founding member of the Brahma Kumaris Environment Initiative. And thereon, there's no looking back, because each year since then, 2009, a long time, 13, 14 years now, he participates every year in the United Nations climate change conferences and delivers the spiritual way of how to deal with this very upcoming climate change challenge. And also from 2010 to 17, he has coordinated the design and construction of India One plant, which is a 1 megawatt solar thermal power plant, all of you know, at the Shantivan campus. And also lastly, in the COVID pandemic, they were inspired, particularly he got this inspiration. In 2021, they co-founded the meditation platform called Yogis for Future, which is again an initiative inviting like-minded people to come together, meditate, and create good vibes, helping the planet and the entire world. And finally, I'll take a deep breath and read out the poem in the next half to 1 minute. So Brother Golo, through his innovation, is instrumental for setting up the solar. You know that now. That's because he's away from the world mindset, which is indeed very polar, which means polarized mindset. He's away from that. He says, invest everything here, whatever you have, in the form of dollar, so that you remain closer to the Supreme's heart and hold his collar, the Supreme Scholar. In this game with Ravan, we have been speaking a lot about Ravan in the Q&A today as well. So in the game with Ravan, let me play the role of a mighty bowler, because Maya is on the loose and finding its prey like a prowler, hunting delicate birds and killing them cruelly like a fowler. Ravan really wants to dominate on me, trying to be a controller. But let me remain under the Supreme's canopy in the stroller and away from Maya, who's trying to trap me in its enclosure. And finally, I now connect only to him, the Supreme Being, because he's my supreme holder and making me rise above and high, holding me by my shoulder. So thank you so much, Brother Golo. And over to you. And it's almost 1 hour you have, so 45 to 50 minutes talk, and then the last 10 minutes meditation and our announcements. So it's all yours. Thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Manoj Bhai, for this elaborate introduction, and also the poetry, very nice. Yeah, indeed, many greetings from Gyan Sarovar. I just came back this morning from Jaipur. I was 4 days in Jaipur, 2 days in Jaipur, and a bit of a roller coaster program, and just came up from Shantivan, and then I was in History Hall in meditation. and just came here. And so it's quite a full-on throttle. Yeah, it's great to be with you today and share a bit my personal journey on victory. It's a very interesting topic. And I looked up what victory actually means. If I have to talk on something, I always like to look up a little bit what's actually the meaning of the word. And interestingly, it comes from Latin victoria, and it was used in usually in warfare, when you are successful and you sort of win over the enemy. And there's even strategic victories, and there are tactical victories, which I learned. And often victory is also used nowadays in business terms, and it means to become rich and to beat the opponent and defeating competition, which is a very big topic. And also it's quite often used in the world of sports. And this is something which is very close to me, because when I was growing up, I was sort of a sports person. I was in professional gymnastics and swimming and also diving. And it was all about winning or losing, or beating gravity, or being super flexible, or making good jumps, or whatever. And so my mind got really trained in sports and competition and being victorious. And this, interestingly, this mindset never really left me. I'm having an e-bike, and I go every evening with the electric bike to Pandav Bhavan, and still I want to go fast, and I want to win. I don't know why, but it thrills me and it satisfies me, and it's good fun to me. So I do it. And I don't like to be overtaken by a car. So that's quite funny. I'm 62, but still I'm a bit in racing. And this sports victory stuff may never leave me, but anyhow, it has helped me often in many things. And was a driving force also for me to pull through in many projects. Victory is also used often in mythology, and there have been always stories about a hero. He's fighting usually a monster barehandedly often, and in Greek it's I think it's Nike, and in Roman it's Victoria, and it's also, we have it in India also. I will come to that slightly later. We also have heroes which battle the evil, and in Christianity, very famous symbol, very famous mythologies. For example, St. George, which is slaying the dragon. This is also a very famous symbol for this being victorious. And in India right now was the time of Dussehra, where they celebrate the victory of Ravan over Ravan, and Rama killed him. And the goddess Durga, I learned, she killed also a monster. I think it was an Asura, Maha Asura, something he's called. And they burn Ravan in India. It was done quite dangerously many times, and many people died in India burning Ravan. They fill him actually with firecrackers, and then they explode him. And in the beginning, there was no security arrangement whatsoever. And I had some very interesting encounters in such Ravan burning ceremonies, where there was mass panic and all this, because too much of explosive stuff, and nobody was knowing that the whole Ravan will explode in front of your eyes. So we had a lot of interesting situations with that. And actually, this word Dussehra, Dasha means 10, and Hara means to take away. So it takes away the vices from you, and like lust, anger, laziness, attachment, carelessness, ego, and so on. And these are the vices which are causing conflict in our life. So in India, every year is a big festival to celebrate that. And that's quite exciting, because it's quite clearly meant like this. And the people also understand it in that way. If they burn Ravan, the vices have to go. And this is a real powerful festival here in India. Lots of people go there. In the world of spirituality, however, the victory has a different meaning. It's more about following your divine principles, values, imbibe them, and achieve success in your life through imbibing values. And the end result shall be that you achieve assimilation, or that you incorporate all these values into your day-to-day life and you refine your character. That's a big victory in spirituality. And then, of course, we have the Brahma Kumaris, and in Brahma Kumaris, victory is often associated with self-control and control also, of course, over the vices. And often we face adverse situations, and in Brahma Kumaris they're called test papers, and it's all about managing these situations and come out victorious, means have success in personal stories, overcoming vices, or have success in projects, service projects. Often spiritual victories, they're also private and personal. They're just for me in my little Brahmin life. They're feelings of satisfaction, or understanding that I've passed a test. And tests can come also in many forms. Daily life, am I getting up at Amrit Vela? Am I fit at Amrit Vela? Am I patient? Am I tolerant? Am I kind to the other Brahmins, even if they make a lot of noise and all these kind of things? And it's also tests of courage and faith. And each test is like a challenge, and asks me to stay firm to my inner conviction. And I have to focus on my strength, on the virtues, to overcome actually these challenges. And each challenge also, that's also my personal experience, each victory is very precious and is sort of fortifying myself and strengthening myself. And it's also shows if you have overcome some big problem and you became victorious, it also shows in the face and in the personality, in the radiation. It's also an empowering experience. Despite it's quite dramatic, many of these test papers can be very serious, can drag on over a long period of time, years, because often it is connected to the karma of the past. It's actually always connected to the karma of the past. And I believe we Brahmins are the specialists in terms of karma of the past. There is no other human beings which can have more karma amongst each other than Brahmins, because we have the longest period of time to stay together and hang out together. So a lot of stuff is going on. And it's quite interestingly, victory also is part of very much part of my personal story, because my first message when I met Baba, that was in 1985. This was the beautiful time when we came to Madhuban. There were 150 foreigners in double foreign season. And there was every second or every third night, there was Bab Dada's program. Dadi Gulzar came at 7:30, 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 in the evening, spoke the Murli, and then program was going on usually until 4 o'clock next morning. And everybody met Baba when he was arriving. Then there was a main meeting, and then everybody was meeting Baba also when he left. And we got 2-3 messages, and quite personal messages. My first message was that Baba told me that I'm a king, and I said I have no idea, because I was quite honest. I said I don't know, and then Baba said, yeah, you are a king. I said, still second time, I said, I don't know. Then Baba said a third time, no, you are a king. And then I said, okay. If God says 3 times you're a king, I said, okay, I'm a king. And then he says, because you have faith, Nietzsche Buddhi, I think you are faithful, you have faith, then you will become victorious. And because you're victorious, you will become a king and you have a kingdom in Golden Age. I said, okay, fine, sounds all right. And Baba said, you will become a victorious jewel, which I had no idea at that time that this is a very special meaning. So Baba gave me this first blessing that I will be victorious. And somehow I had absolutely, at that time, you know, you come fresh in Gyan, just let's say 1 year in Gyan, come to Madhuban, and I had no idea what is in the pipeline. You know, maybe I would have run away if I would have known what's all going to happen to me, you know, in Brahmin life. So many test papers, so many dramas, so many projects, but somehow I always kept this sports competition type mindset, you know, like when there was and I always have this this thing that I get ideas, you know, I get an idea to do something, you know, and some of the first things which happened was in the early 90s that I was sitting with Brother Manfred in the dining hall upstairs, which I'm just met actually also in the dining hall. So it's 40 years ago we met in the dining hall. And just now I had also Bochen with him in the dining hall, Manfred from Germany. And I told him it would be very nice we set up a nice trust, because that time that was 98, the hospital came up. And Manfred said, that sounds nice. And it was very funny. So I went to Daddy Junkie and I said, Daddy, we would like to set up a charitable trust for the hospital. So Daddy said, that sounds very good, but you go to Niverbai. So I went to Niverbai and said, Niverbai, let's set up a charitable trust. And Niverbai said, that's a good idea, but you see, it's a legal thing. So you go to Rameshbai. So I went to Rameshbai. I said, Rameshbai, we would like to set up a charitable trust in Germany and support the hospital. Rameshbai said, yeah, charitable trust is a good thing. We also have a charitable trust, but you know, it concerns the overall picture. So you have to go to Tadi Komaka. And so I asked Tadi Komaka, and she said, this is a foreign thing and you have to go to Tadi Junkie. So after I made a full round with all seniors, I decided nobody said no. And then we created that trust somehow, anyhow. And as a strategic bonus, we made Daddy Junkie the president of honor to be on the safe side. So even in this little affair, there were many test papers involved, because I'm also a very fast and speedy person. It's one of my weaknesses. And I had to become patient, you know. Go to one person after the other. He said something like this. I said, okay. I go to the next one. He says the next one, and you make one round, which may take 2 or 3 days because not everybody's available at all the time. So, and then the issues didn't stop there. We had to create a constitution. And of course, we had no money as usual. We always have not enough money, by the way. If you know a method how to inspire Lakshmi for big money, please send me a mail or WhatsApp message. I would be very happy. So we had not much money, but we needed a professional constitution. So somehow a lawyer came in contact and he said, I have for another trust, I will give you free of charges. So after many deliberations and this and that, we set up the trust in 89 and became actually quite successful. And then I started to collect equipment for Global Hospital. And in the beginning, I had absolutely no idea how to do this. And so I went to a hospital and I said, sir, we have a very good hospital in India. And we need some equipment for it. And he said, he called the caretaker and says, go with this gentleman to the underground and show him the underground, and whatever is there he can take. So that was a university clinic in München, very big one. So the caretaker took me to the underground, and this was not one room. These were like 30 rooms. It was like one hall after the other. And this place was full with anesthesia machines, operation tables, mammography, blood banks, gastroscope, endoscopes, all in good condition, all the top brands, Olympus, Draeger, Heraeus. And I asked the gentleman, I said, that's a massive amount of equipment. So what can I take off this? And he looked at me and said, you can take whatever you want. So that was how I organized my first ship container. And I was so nervous because I've never sent a ship container. I didn't know how to do it. And then somehow, again, I was in this project mode that I had some challenging thing to do. And again, I got so many test papers because I had to find an agent. Of course, we had no money to send the container, so we needed some special discount. So I had to negotiate within people. So long story short, the container went in the ship, and then I traveled to Bombay. And I can see also Dr. Mehta there. He knows some of the stories. And then I had to clear the container. And Indian customs is something it's better to avoid. And it's a delicate and special experience, if I describe it mildly. And sometimes it took 3 weeks to get the container out of the customs premises. And it was a complicated process. And we needed some 50 signatures. And as this is a public channel, I don't want to go too much in details. But it was quite dramatic, and I experienced many new things in my life. And finally, we got the container out. Then another challenge, another test paper, how to get this container to Mount Abu. Nobody wanted to drive to Mount Abu. Finally, we got a truck, went to Mount Abu, went all the way up. And then the next issue was to unload all these heavy machines and equipments because there was no provision in Mount Abu. So I had to make a ramp and unload everything. So there was one test and one challenge after the other. And I got tested, my patience, problems, thinking, and then sometimes things works out. You become victorious, but sometimes also you're back to square one, especially if you have to wait 3 weeks to get a container out of the premises, and it's all a bit of a nonsense, but you have to follow the procedure. So then the story was still not over. When I was in the hospital, then the doctor says, okay, this is fantastic equipment, how to install it? I said, okay, I install it. So I installed it, and I had no idea. I had to learn the manual and make many phone calls and make foundations and this and that. And then they said, okay, how to operate it? I said, guys, I'm not a doctor. They said, yeah, but we never had this equipment before. So I had to make another phone call. Luckily, my brother is a doctor. So I said, okay, you put the patient here, and then you push the button, and then you get a picture, and that you have to interpret yourself because I have no idea. So that's luckily where my test paper ended in this regard. So this whole story to bring containers to India and help the global hospital was a self-created challenge. It was a huge test paper, but I learned a lot. It was almost like the diamond gets polished, and I felt like I'm coming on the next level of test papers and projects. And that happened then when Dadi Komaka, that was, I think, 92 or so, we bought Gyan Sarovar land. And Dadi Komaka said, okay, every country should build one house. I said, that's a very good idea. And I'm a builder. So I thought, let's build a house. So how to build a house in India, so first we need a design. So somehow an architect popped up. This was Professor Minke from Kassel. He's an environmental architect, very famous. He was co-architect of the Olympic Stadium, which is a landmark building, and later became an environmental architect. And we thought Gyan Sarovar should become an environmental example. Everything should be natural construction. So he came up with a design, and he came to India, and he gave me the design. And the problem was it was something round. And at that time in India, that was not so easy to build something in a controlled way, but round, but straight, nicely round, nicely curved. I had many test papers and challenging, and I freaked out, but somehow I could also not give up, because I was involved in the project, and I'm a German. Germans, they want to complete. And victory meant for me also that the thing at the end should be successful, be there. So it took almost 3 years to build solar house. It was the first building in Gyan Sarovar, and somehow it was I was the only foreigner who really built a house in Gyan Sarovar. All the others who tried, they failed. They couldn't do it. They couldn't manage. They ran away. They got frustrated. They didn't have proper design or whatever. So that's how solar house was built. And then I had the courage to build also a little meditation dome, which is all out of mud bricks and environmental friendly. And then I thought whole Gyan Sarovar will become now environmental friendly, but by drama, so many other architects were there, and Gyan Sarovar became a veritable concrete jungle. All was concrete buildings and concrete roads. And this was a huge test paper for me, because I said, oh my God, we should make something environmental friendly. Now we're building with concrete. So I didn't understand it at that time. Now it's okay, I'm fine with it. But at that time, this was a big test paper. So victory and defeat, they were always close together, you know. Sometimes I had victory, sometimes I had defeat, but it was always a learning process. And I felt sometimes I'm in the middle of a hurricane, you know, with all these projects, and it challenged me to the core, and it challenged me to my total capacity, what I could somehow endure, and what I could sort of manage. And then solar house was built, this was built, and then I had the next idea. Now we have to equip all these things with, that's my problem. I always had these inspirations, these ideas, and then we should make it with solar. And nobody had an idea of solar. And again, mega test papers. And somehow I was able to go to German government and tell them, you see, Mount Abu, very good place. Brahma Kumar is very good organization, and we're very good people, and we need some money. We will do some very nice thing. So I got a little bit of money, and we built the first solar cooker. And then it was successful. We cooked some kheer, and everybody said, oh, that is working with the solar cooker. So I got more money from the government, 100,000 Deutschmark. That was a lot of money at that time. And we built the first solar steam cooking system in Gyan Sarovar. I think it took 2 years. And this was a Maha test. Technical, it was so challenging. You see, I'm coming from construction, and there was suddenly, we had to deal with steam, with pipelines. I had to build expansion joints, and there were no proper tools, and people had no clue how to build that. I had no clue. So I had to make many phone calls to Germany. And at that time, the telephone lines were not good. So one time you make a call, you want to call to somebody, you had to try 10 times. And then after 2 minutes, the line got disrupted. So it was fantastic situation to become super patient and loving and compassionate. And I sometimes felt the person who I am gets grinded and grinded and grinded and grinded, becomes powder, and then the wind comes and blows the powder into the desert of Rajasthan. I felt sometimes like that. I'm disintegrating because these projects were so intense, and I had to go full throttle in to keep them alive, to get the money together, to get the technology together, to motivate the people, keep the seniors happy, and so on. It was quite amazing. So finally, solar cooker started working. Then I thought, that's enough. No more projects. Now I will not do any more big project. I really told myself, because it was quite too much. And then Ramesh, after 1 year, came to me and says, Golo, we got some big land in Abu Road, that was Shantivan, and we're building now a hall. And I want you to build a big solar cooker there for 30,000 meals a day. I said, no. He said, think about it. Then I said, okay, maybe. Finally, I started building it. I even got money made an application to the MNRE, you know, dealing with Indian government is another Maha test paper. They are differently wired than the Germans. I learned the head shake in India, you know, this one. So I said, will you give us a sanction now and the money? They say, ha, 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 ha. It took me many years to decipher the non-verbal communication in India, so to say, and navigate my way and understand what's going on and not think, oh my God, he said yes, because a yes not necessarily means a yes, you know, a yes can be also a diplomatically no, or can be a maybe, or can mean also later, not now, come again. So I had to learn all this the hard way. So many test papers, but somehow I'm a bit of a persistent person. So I had also their sort of victory, and we got the money. And then this solar cooker was done, everything was fine. And then so many other projects came up. Then we had the idea, I had the idea, unfortunately, I always had these ideas. And then I suffered. I got these test papers after these ideas came up. Then we had this idea to put up 50 solar systems for all India. So then I started traveling in India. We got the finances done with Ramesh Bhai together. And then we collected 50 centers in India, which were ready to put up a 5 kilowatt system. We got government funding from, I think, the Australian government. It was an Australian inverter. I had to travel to Australia. It was all a huge adventure. And it was challenging. It was like a sports challenge, you know. And but so again, so many test papers involved, getting all together, getting all the centers on board, traveling there, installing the systems, training them, convincing them, collecting the money. So many things, dramas, and wonderful. And I got polished and polished and polished and polished. And my again, I got pulverized, and my ashes got blown all over India in this project. And then I thought I should now retire and enjoy the fruits of my Brahmin life. That was my idea, and I was very firm in that. And I said, that's it. And then we had a spaghetti dinner in Solar House, and there was a German engineer, and he was quite good. He's the inventor of this dish, Wolfgang Schäffler. And we were sitting there, and suddenly I had an idea. I thought, let's build a power station. Then this German engineer said, no, don't build it. It's too complicated. I said, why not? We build it, a big one, and we supply whole Shantivan with power. He said, no, Golo, it's a very complicated project. Don't do it. I said, no. I was crazy. I'm sometimes a bit crazy, but it gets better now. I'm somehow get better. I don't have so many ideas nowadays. Maybe it's coming with age, you know, and maybe it's wisdom or so, you know, something like that. So he said also it's too costly, and it's huge, you know, and Shantivan is a huge complex, and you need a huge land and money, and technology is very, very complicated. But somehow I was lost in this idea. The current from above hit me, a lightning bolt, and I made an estimate. We needed $10-15 million, and I went to Neverby, and I said, Neverby, let's build a power station in Shantivan, and we just need at that time 80 crores. It was a fabulous amount of money 20 years ago. Neverby looked at me with big eyes, because you know I'm a bit sort of sometimes come with strange ideas. He looked at me with big eyes and became very serious. He says, Golo, don't talk any further about this project. I said, oh. Then I went to Ramesh Bhai, and I said, Ramesh Bhai, let's build a big power station. We only need 80 crores. Then Ramesh Bhai said, Golo, I have no money whatsoever. Whatever you do, you have to do it yourself. I cannot help you a little bit. So that was quite encouraging. That was the first test paper before even anything happened, just the idea. So I went to Daddy Janki, and Daddy looked at me, you know, she went into this X-ray sort of smiley, bit laid back, looking at me. And after 30 seconds, she said, Daddy likes the idea. That was the light at the end of the tunnel. Then I said, okay, if Daddy likes the idea, there is a chance. And it was quite miraculous. You know, we had no land. We needed a huge land. And I found out in in Mount Abu, you don't get land, big land. It's impossible. In Abu Road, it's impossible. It's all cast land, you know, and nobody has such a big chunk of land. And then after a month, one brother came to Nearby and said, I have a huge chunk of land and I wanted to build a health farm there, a spa, but I don't have enough money. And I offered, he was a big brother. I offer it to the Yagya at my cost price. And this land was big, very big land, and 3 kilometers away from Shandiwan. Was the biggest land actually at that time in the whole district. And I said to Nirvana, that's for the solar project. Of course, Nive wasn't that favorable for that, but somehow it ended up becoming the land for the solar project. And then I got this idea to go to the government and filed an application. I came to know a German government guy, and he said, I help you to apply with the German government. We bypass everybody and you apply directly to the ministry, which is not as it's supposed to be, directly to the joint secretary you apply, and I will make the procedure. He came to Abu, and he's a good friend of us, very good friend. He came many times to Mount Abu, and I visit him every year. And so I applied it, and the German government agreed to fund us with 50%, which was a huge amount of money. And Baba was, you know, at crucial situations where the test became too big and I couldn't handle it, and I didn't know how to do it. Baba helped, you know, and Baba guided, which was very, very, very beautiful to experience when you get direct help from above. You know, it's like, you know, impossible becomes possible. So somehow we got money from the German government. Then I went to the Indian government. I said, the Germans are funding us, and what are you doing? So I filed an application, and the Indian government said, yeah, which meant after 2 years, finally, they gave us the sanction. So I learned patience, which is the most horrible test paper for me because I'm such a fast person. It was horrible. Yeah, now I'm good. I'm fully Indianized, and Chalega, everything is all right, you know. So after 40 years, I did it. Yeah. So I got the Indian government in the boat, and suddenly we had 75% finances. And then I went to Ramesh Bhai, said, Ramesh Bhai, we need some money. And then sometimes Ramesh Bhai said, I have no money, nothing. So, and I had such big bills, and you know, like 120 lakhs bills, you know. And I said, who will pay? He says, go, I don't have money. So I went to Daddy Junkie and said, Daddy, I have no money. And Ramesh Bhai, this, that. Then Daddy looked at me and Daddy said, Daddy will help. And she was sending Sakash. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I was sitting like that, and I could feel that current coming from Daddy. And Daddy went to London and came back with big amount of money, transferred it to Ramesh Bhai. Ramesh Bhai called me, come and bring all the bills. So I went happily with all my bills. And Ramesh Bhai said, how many bills? I gave him the whole VAT on the table. And Ramesh Bhai said, okay, I'll pay it. And like this, I had many experiences, impossible experiences. And I had so many challenges and test papers that the person, and I went through the fire. They were so strong, these test papers, that I almost went through the fires and I completely burned to ashes. And I couldn't leave the project. I was caught up, and imagine this project took almost 10 years to complete it. So for 10 years, I couldn't get out of it. I couldn't leave it. And we had land issues, we had financial issues, and we had technology issues of gigantic proportions. See, to make these dishes, they're made out of 600 pieces. We had to acquire our own structural engineering software. We had to hire consultancy companies for simulation. We made an agreement with the best solar research institute in the world, Fraunhofer Institute in Germany. They made the simulation for us, but we had to pay them. So I had to go to the government, organize some more funds for them, which we got. So they did the simulation for us. And then we had to get Siemens in the boat for the turbine. They gave us a foundation details, huge foundations, and so on. So it was technically extremely challenging, and we didn't have the expertise at all in-house. No chance. Too complicated. It's really high tech, and this was so full of challenges. But I somehow had this sports mind and said, okay, it's an adventurous challenge, and let's do it, and let's get it done. And luckily, I always had love for meditation and yoga, and usually in evening I go to history hall, and somehow that kept me running and kept me also sane, like in such a mental stage that I could move on and complete this project. I didn't break down. I was sometimes at breakdown point, but somehow I managed, and Baba helped, and there was touching from above. Sometimes when it was so critical, he used Daddy or another senior or Ramesh Bhai or this or that, and somehow it all went up. And finally, after 10 years, then the last test paper, the last challenge was we wanted that Baba will inaugurate the project, because we worked so hard. Like 5,000 tons of steel, 2,000 foundations, 200 workers on site, 10 years, maha stress to build this project. It was quite a tough job. And and that was the time when Daddy's health was deteriorating, and sometimes Baba did not come, and Daddy was in Bombay. So we made a little picture with a button where Baba can push the button. And then the big question is, will Baba come? And then Baba came. Daddy went in trance, and Bab Dada came, and we all went on stage, gave to Baba this little thing, and Daddy's body was trembling. She was trembling. She was not strong, but Baba was there, and Baba said, "Bota Cha," pushed the button and inaugurated India 1, and that was the last time Bab Dada came. After that, Daddy Gulzar never came back from Bombay, and so that was also a test, and we had victory in that Baba came and our wish got fulfilled. So now I'm gone through so many things, so many test papers. And after India 1, I told myself, I will not do anything anymore project, because project always means test papers. But somehow, about 6 months ago, we found out that our solar cooker in Gyan Sarovar is completely corroded. It's 25 years old, and we have to replace it. My old sanskaras kicked in. My sports competition mentality took over. I said, okay, let's do a project. I made a budget, went to Dr. Nirmala. I said, Dr. Nirmala, the old cooker is gone, and we need a new cooker. Here's the budget, and here's the amount. And Dr. Nirmala said, where should I sign? I said, here. And she signed. And because Dr. Nirmala signed, it's a 2 crore project. All the others also signed. And now our Dr. Nirmala is gone, as per drama, which was also test paper for many. And in a way, she was quite victorious in the last moments, I would say. She was quite strong. And our project is continuing. I have some test papers in this project also, but it is all, compared to the previous stuff, this is all manageable. And I also have had so many lessons and learned so many things and refined the character. I got rid of my impatience. I got rid of my anger, getting angry. So I got rid of many of the obstacles of my personality. And in retrospect, I see my personal pathway in the Yagya like a very carefully designed pathway to slowly become perfect and become a victorious jewel. What Baba actually told me, the message, it makes, the longer I'm in Gyan, the further away in time it is, the more it makes sense to me. And now my final test paper is to conquer the consciousness of the body. I go every evening into history hall and I meditate and I knock at subtle region. I say, Baba, please pull me up or open the gate to subtle region. I want to fly up. Somehow it's not yet happening. And when I was in Jaipur, there's one sister, she goes in trance and she brought very nice book message. And she told me, she said, Baba said that the children are all making efforts, but there's still little dust on the angelic body, dust of the old world and the old sanskars. And this dust keeps you grounded and doesn't allow you to fully connect to above. And now you have to get rid of all of that. This is the time to do it, to fully clear up your final accounts, to clear up also old sanskars which occasionally come up, to become free of them and fly high. And if we look into the current situation of the world, I mean, this climate change thing. This year, India had a very strange monsoon. Some places too much rain, some places not enough rain. The spring was too hot. And India stopped exporting rice and wheat. India's third largest exporter of rice and wheat in the world, and it stopped exporting rice and wheat because the harvest is a failure this year. And so India said, we need whatever we produce, we need in India, which is a big blow to many poor countries in the world because they don't get the wheat and the rice from India now. So the signal is there in the environment, in climate change. It's very dramatic. And the scientists find out now that climate change is happening much faster than expected. And the coming years will be very disastrous. We will already, this year in Europe was total disaster, wildfires, flooding, horrible, horrible, horrible. And it will increase, it will become more. So situation is becoming very, very delicate in terms of climate change. And we are looking forward to the climate conference in Dubai. And we will see how people respond to this challenge, that things happen much faster than expected. And how we position ourselves in the whole process, you know. Then also there's a massive loss of biodiversity. So many species are disappearing, forests are disappearing, whole regions turn into deserts because no more rain and so on. So big loss of biodiversity, animals, species, birds, the nature is disappearing, nature is dying. And lastly, we see also the geostrategical tensions in the world, especially Ukraine, Russia. Now the Middle East is exploding. And Baba has told many times there will be these bells, you know, these signals. And also our Dr. Nirmala left us. She was also a pillar in the institution. So we can see that many souls are going. Drama is coming into a final chapter. And in Madhuban, Brahmins say, not many years left for spiritual efforts, you know. So my last effort, my last frontier is now to conquer the consciousness, my last test paper, my last adventure, last challenge, big challenge, and where I hopefully will become victorious, is to conquer body conscious and become an angel and fly high and give drishti from above to the world. And I remember that Baba has given a very beautiful book message some time ago, which inspired me a lot. Children, Baba was emerging all the children, and there were many Vimans, and the children said, oh, there are Vimans, we want to fly. And they all jumped and wanted to open the door, but they couldn't open the door because they couldn't open it. And they all looked to Baba and said, Baba, we cannot open the door. Then Baba said, become introverted. Then the children became introverted, and then click, they could open the door. And then they're sitting inside, and then the seat was wobbly, and there was a seat belt, but they couldn't put on the seat belt, because the lock was not there, or they couldn't find it. Then they looked to Baba and said, Baba, we cannot put on the seat belt. Then Baba said, have faith. Have faith. Faith in the self, and faith in Baba, and faith in the drama. And the moment they had faith, and Baba said, become also determined. Have faith and be determined. Never give up. So the moment the children went in that mindset, they could lock the seatbelt and the chair became silent. Then they wanted to start the Viman with the start button. They pressed the button, but the Viman didn't sort of power up. And they looked to Baba, the Viman is not powering up. And Baba said, you have to become an angel and serve the world. So the children, okay, I'm an angel. I'm bodiless. Angel's not touching the ground. Angel is pure. Angel is managing his light body. And angel can fly and serve the world. So give drishti to the whole world, to all the souls which are suffering war, hunger, destruction, or in relations or things. And the moment they went in this consciousness, the Viman powered on and they took off and everybody was flying. We can fly. But suddenly a lot of clouds came. Everything was becoming very cloudy, very cloudy, very cloudy. It was like fog. And the children got all very confused because they lost orientation. And they said, oh, Baba, we don't know where we are flying. What is going on? It's so confusing. We don't know what's upstairs and downstairs. And then Baba says, become fearless. And then the children all became fearless. And then the clouds parted away. They could see golden age. And they all flew to golden age. And they all could land there. And then they all went there and lived happily forever. So that was the book message. And this I sort of use a bit in meditation as a sort of rehearsal, as a bit of a method to go into silence, to have faith in the self, and in Drama and Baba, become determined, never give up, become angel, give drishti to the world, and then fly high and become fearless at the end. Because that fear is also connected to our body. When we leave the body, there's a lot of fear. So that is the last challenge. It's the last frontier. And it's the last border. And it is, I try to apply my sports mentality and see it as a competition. And I look forward to be victorious in that also. And if a little bit of doubt comes, I will say, Baba said, be faithful. So I'm faithful. It will happen. I will be victorious. No problem. And once you have faith, Nietzsche Buddhi, you have faith in the intellect, victory is guaranteed. That's also part of the message which I got from Baba. When you have faith, then victory is guaranteed. So I have shared my inner life. I've never shared like that with anybody. I shared a bit what happened to me on my personal journey here in Yagya in Madhuban, how all these test papers, projects, defeat and victory, how that all happened to me. And after 40 years, I'm become happy in my Brahman life, very happy. I become very faithful. I become convinced, yes, that I will be victorious. And I really start enjoying also my Brahman life, let these small test papers come, what is there? They're good to give final polish to the diamond, so it becomes beautiful. And so I look forward for the next coming years. They will be very challenging. They will be quite dramatic. And they will be also extremely rewarding. And Baba said, be fearless. When you're fearless, you will see. And I like to see how the world is being transformed because I like very much mind and matter connection. And I believe our mind, that's also the last frontier, our mind will conquer matter and will be victorious over matter, will become the ruler. Our thoughts will create reality. And I think if we're all visualizing Golden Age, like we really see the picture of Golden Age there, that our collective vision will become so powerful that matter must follow this vision, and our purity will become so strong that we purify matter and force all the pollution and the disturbance which is now in all the systems, that we clean everything, that we renovate everything, that we refurbish everything, and that destruction and creation is just like a microsecond process, and that we all jointly, with the power of our thoughts, create the new Satyuga. So Baba said, it is defeat for the prey and victory for the hunter. And I'm very, very excited about that. I'm long time in Gyan, but I still get very excited about Gyan and the fabulous time which is happening now in front of our eyes. And I feel also in the field of service, I had in the last couple of months so many special experiences. Baba said, time will come, they will offer the platform to you to give speeches. And I experienced that. Now it becomes much more easy for us to give a speech or to get invitations and this and that. And especially in India, where the president is associated with Brahma Kumaris, and Prime Minister Modi is also in favor of Brahma Kumaris institution. Whenever I go somewhere and I say I'm from the Brahma Kumaris, they say it's very good, very good, very good. It's like the doors are opening in front. So there are many signals that we are in a very special transition time now. It's very close. It's very precious, the time. Very, very, very precious. And we should all become aware that every moment is a diamond moment, and we should value it accordingly and do the level best and become victorious. Thank you very much. I think I used up definitely my time, and I give back to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Brother Golo. I think this is the divine providence. Baba wanted you to speak all this on victory because your personal experiences, which no one knows, you've shared your secrets. I can make that. And this will be a special episode. I think we'll call you back again and again for a few more values. And I really liked it when you said that the Bhog message, those three values, the faith, determination, and fearlessness. And it reminds me of a very sweet Didi Nirmala, Dr. Nirmala. I mean, she was the one who spoke on fearlessness. And she was an embodiment of fearlessness. And she was with us in the last Dashera, last 2022. And we really miss her presence in the physical way, but we know she's in a subtle angelic way with us. And now with this, I'll take the opportunity to invite Dr. Ashok Mehta, whom you know very well. You also mentioned about him, to give the vote of thanks, and followed by Sister Anu. Thank you.
Golo Bhai, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Amazing. But I'm not amazed. I have seen you from day one, 1989 onwards. I had the privilege to see Dr. Golo, young Golo. And we had the privilege of traveling across Germany, went to Poland, traveled in different parts, saw multiple hospitals. I know where he got the bug of the solar, because we went to, I think, I can't remember the city's name. It was not Hamburg, but it's where Professor Menke used to live, I think. We went, that's correct. So we went to a project where the solar battery was developed, solar car was being developed. That's where he got the first bug. because that was a time when he was quite excited. And from there, this little infection traveled. And I think it's amazing what he has done and achieved. He's always been very innovative, always smiling. I think he had all the qualities of being victorious wherever he went. And every time he met only challenges. I remember everything that he did for the Global Hospital in Mount Abu. I think we also went to the Lilavati Hospital's basement, if you remember. We used to go to basement everywhere, wherever there was something available for us for free. I think Golo has many, many very, very special qualities. And that's how he has been brought to the Baba's Yagya. But Golo probably didn't reveal today that his specialty is to make old houses new in Germany. In Germany, you cannot demolish a house, old house. So all that you can do is keep the exterior the same, but you can change everything inside. And I think that is his specialty. He is also creating the new world, because I think the solar power is the most important power when all other electricity will fail. So I think he has a very, very special role in the Yagya. I'm privileged to have seen him right from the scratch, creating this fantastic.
And Dr. Saab, if I may mention, interestingly, we have at the same day birthday.
We share the same birthday.
Yes.
Okay, I think maybe that those stars are favorable, I think. But Golubhai, what I realize is there's a whole, about 25 people have written about, they're so touched by your experience. I'm also touched because I knew that this is going to be touching. But I don't know how Manoj Bhai decided to pick on the victory, because that's where, yes, I think, Manoj Bhai, did you know that you're dealing with a guy who's been always victorious?
I mean, obviously we know about Brother Golo, but I think it's Baba's work. Baba chooses the particular person for that value. I think Baba's perfect choice.
Not
Always.
I saw the German trust. That was the first trust we decided to help the Global Hospital in Mount Abu. And I think Golubhai was the youngest in that whole group of people. Manfred Bhai and other sisters were there, but Golubhai was a real mover. He moved and he could shake anything. His fearlessness, I've seen him multiple times coming to Ramesh Bhai for help. And I think what he has is a rare quality of not accepting the defeat. I've seen him also creating that beautiful house in which he leaves the solar house, the domed structure at the back of the Harmony Hall, so beautiful. Also, the meditation hall, which has created that small little structure. And if Golubhai had his way, everything in Gyan Sarovar would be in a mud house and no concrete at all. I think that is
It's okay.
Yeah, but at least he has kept the symbolic two structures, which are made of mud, and reminds us of association of Professor Menke with the project. Golubhai, you are superb. Thank you very much for sharing. And sharing came like a flow. I know that now he's an international speaker and international thinker. He knows exactly what's happening in the world. That I didn't know that there are deserts being created at the moment. I didn't know that so much was happening, but we can, knowing Baba's knowledge and being familiar with the near future, I think what you have done is a phenomenal. We'll have the power when all the powers fail, thanks to Golo. And of course, the inspiration must have come from Baba. Baba picks up the right people, makes them work, and gives them strength. He gives them everything that they need. So we thank the victorious brother for bringing in sharp focus how to become victorious, to become fearless, determined, and amazing. Okay, Golobai, thank you very much once again.
So I want to thank Dr. Mehta. Yes, it was like a flow of river. It was really thoroughly empowering session. It is all true experiences. And I also want to thank Brother Manoj because, yes, I think he always brings the right speaker with the right speciality. So it was thoroughly appropriate that you are speaking to us today and the great achievements. Sister Claudia is not able to join today. So on behalf of her and the whole Vancouver family, a special thank you and hello, Brother Golo. You were here a few years ago with us and we have heard all of this. You remember? Yes. As you can all see, very enthusiastic always. And I think that is that childlike curiosity and enthusiasm. I think that is the combination God loves. And all that we heard are really amazing, nothing less than amazing. And the last bit of that 4 steps to become, what is the test papers? Now we love test papers. As you said, it to design your path to become perfect. So wonderful from all of us here today. Very deep, heartfelt thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. We are slightly delayed, but we'll take the liberty for going on for next 5 to 10 minutes. And I think I wanted to ask Brother Golo, I'm not asking now, I know we don't have time today, but in future, probably you can tell us more about how you motivate at the climate change conferences through your talks. And I'm sure Baba will get you again. It's not me or someone else. We'll have some value which will be closely related to that. So in the next 5 to 6 months, we'll be seeing you again here. Thank you for that. I'll just quickly share the announcements so that we know what we are doing in the coming days. Right, so just, so here we go. Yeah, so as all of us know that we are celebrating our 3rd anniversary, but before that, let me just announce this. In the next 12 hours from now, exactly, as all of us know that we do the silence retreat once a month, so please join us. In India, it's morning time tomorrow, 8:30 to 10:30, and very much we'll go in depth on this value of victory. And Brother Golo has really shared so many experiences. And I think in the depth of silence, what Baba has to say through his Avyak Murlis, which we have compiled in the form of a silence retreat, you're welcome to join in 12 hours from now. And before we go on to celebrating the next 3rd anniversary, which was supposed to happen the last weekend when Didi Nirmala left the body. So we have postponed it. It's tomorrow again, exactly 24 hours from now. So again, India time, it will be evening, 8:30 p.m. because the clocks on the West Coast, US, Canada go back. So please note the time. In India, it's 8:30 p.m. to 10. And West Coast, as usual, 7 a.m. And we have our 3 special Rajyogi souls, Sudesh Didi, Santosh Didi, and Brother Eric, who will be interviewing them. So please don't miss this. It's a special event. And also, Diwali is round the corner. The 4th year has just begun now. And we have a special soul who Brother Golo was mentioning all the time, again and again. And I hope that Brother Nirvair can join because he's committed. He has said yes. But as always, let's see what the Divine Drama plan has, whether his health permits or not. Because a few days ago also, when the Baba Milan was happening, he was in Ahmedabad for his health checkup. But he's all fine, actually. There's no problem. And he will be interviewed actually by Dr. Pratap Medha, who is the director of Global Hospital and Research Center. And we have this very special value, uniqueness, and how both of them are unique in their own ways. We can find out. It's a Diwali special episode. on Saturday 11th. So please don't miss. And we have many more such episodes where we'll be having new senior Rajyogis who haven't been covered in the episodes so far. And we have Sister Radhika. She'll be doing the workshop exercises, doing the workshop talk with us. That's an announcement to be done later. This is our November calendar, which we'll be sending you. It's on the WhatsApp group as well as the display picture. So you can please go through it. And these are our websites. And all these talks are recorded. So please, you can feel free to go on to the links which are mentioned and enjoy, because it's almost a bouquet of 76 episodes and workshops so far now. So it's a big chunk of material which you can go through at leisure as well. So I'll just stop sharing the screen, and now we'll go in the meditation mode with Brother Golo. Should we play some music and take drishti or some commentary or whatever suits? Drishti or commentary? Whatever.
For how long should we do this?
Just few minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll take drishti, maybe that's good. Or you want to say something is fine.
Would you like to do a commentary, or we can play a song and you can give us drishti?
I'll play a song. I was just in History Hall on Gadi, so I will just go in that consciousness.
Play some songs. We'll take drishti.
And I think we have to also take a photograph. We don't want to miss this. So everyone, I know we are very late, but I think everybody of us would love to have this photograph with Brother Golo. So open your video. Otherwise, you'll be... Beautiful, thank you. So I'll play a song now. So let's take drishti and enjoy it.
Journey awakens within when songs of remembrance begin. The child of the Father is lost in the ocean of love, holding the hand of the guide through the path of confusion inside. Tears become pearls in the silence and passing of time. The song of remembrance is sung in unlimited rhyme. The song of remembrance is sung in unlimited rhyme. Dance away to the beautiful music you wanted to play. Dance away in your heart. Dance away to the beautiful music you wanted to play. Dance away in your heart, in your heart. The palace of mirrors reflect the secrets within you reject. A hat of some status disguising the kingdom of light. The room of your heart you vacate when the hotel of sorrows your fate. Locked in a jungle of questions, the fortune of hell. The strings of attachment draw masters right under justice is fought in the mind. The gods of attention await the last bugles blown at the gate, and spiritual warriors with hearts full of courage won't hide. Your guaranteed victories, tribute with God by your side. Your guaranteed victories, tribute with God by your side. Dance away to the beautiful.
Okay, so thank you all of you. Looks like Brother Golo is, here you are. Okay. Okay. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Brother Golo. We are all victorious. We'll be victorious. Bye now, everyone.